All right, Julius Randle, thanks for being on Talking Watches and having us in your home for the shoot.
I'm honored.
We're honored. I'm a big
seriously.
NBA guy, so I'm super happy to be able to sit down with you. How did watches even get on your radar in the first place? Is this something that growing up you sort of aspired to wear watches or thought about them, or was it mostly when you joined the league? How does that start for you?
I remember being a kid and you are in the mall and my mom taking me to the middle of the mall and buying the $15 watches.
Yeah.
So I've always loved watches. I didn't know I have a passion for collecting them. I remember the first time I was really interested in it and started to study it a little bit was Kobe. He had the collaboration with Hublot.
Yeah.
That he had the red wine. Man, I didn't buy my first watch, which was a Rolex, until my fourth year.
Really?
Fifth year. So it was I was still conservative in that sense, but it's kind of like they say, once you get tattoos, you get the first one, and
it's all over. You got a lot of
So yeah.
Did you have a mentor in the league, a vet or something like that?
Yeah. So my vet, when you say my vet, he's kind of 3 years older than me.
Yeah.
Was Anthony Davis.
Okay.
He was the first person.
Fellow Kentucky guy.
Yeah, Kentucky guy. And I went to New Orleans my fifth year in the league, and I think I had one watch or two watches. And I remember on the plane, he had this box of watches.
Yeah.
And he opened his watches, and I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was always man, I want to start collecting watches. So I would say I blame him.
Yeah.
For the amount of watches that I have and my collection or whatever it is. But for me, people are collectors of many different things, and for me, this is what I like to spend my time doing and spend my money on.
Is the first watch you ever got in your fourth season on the table with us right now?
First watch I ever got, right here. This is the watch, like I said, I've been wearing all summer. Rolex Datejust.
Yeah, two-tone.
Yeah, two-tone. I was very when I first got in the NBA, I liked jewelry. I liked necklaces and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I was immediately attracted to it because it had the diamonds.
Were you wearing gold?
I used to wear
Yeah.
a lot of gold, so I was immediately attracted to that. And my favorite color is black, so I love the dial that was black and it has the diamonds in the dial and stuff like that. So I was really connected to it in that sense. Well, I would say this is I would probably say my favorite watch. I'm a very, spiritual person in a sense. So this summer I had surgery. It's the first time I ever had surgery in the summer, having a rehab and stuff like that. And, I kind of had to do a little bit of soul searching. When you're rehabbing and going through that, you have to do a little bit of soul searching. And for me, this watch reminded me of, the journey where it all started for me. Like I said, it was my first watch. And for me, this summer was kind of like a restart, a reset for me. I had to start from ground zero. I had to build myself, back up and, really train and get back into, feeling like myself, improving, all those different type of things. So it brought me almost back to being a kid. So every time I wore this watch, which I wore it all summer, it just reminded me of that. So this watch has more of, it's not obviously my most expensive watch, but it's, a deeper sentimental value to me. So a lot of times when I wear watches, I like to connect with them on a more personal level.
Yeah.
So,
Is it big for you to think about what you're going to be doing when you wear it to build a memory with a watch?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So it's I'll go to a game and, we play 82 games and there might be game 53 and you're like, man, I don't know how I can do this.
Yeah.
And I go in my safe and, obviously I'm getting ready and I go in my safe and I put on a watch. And, a lot of times, like I said, it's easy to wear a watch that's super expensive or whatever it is. But, a lot of times while I play the game is, I put my heart and soul into it. So for me, this watch reminded me of that, every day this summer. Stay grounded, keep playing for the love of the game, keep playing with the joy of a 5-year-old kid, 6-year-old kid. I look at my kids and I'm like, they play you know, with me when they're playing basketball or whatever they're doing, you know, they just have this joy and this freedom.
Yeah, you got the toy hoops in here. They're on camera, but they're in here. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, that watch definitely it reminds me of that. So first watch I got.
Yep.
Last watch I've got.
Okay.
So,
I like that.
Yeah.
Bookends.
So yeah, I actually just recently got this watch. Super light.
Yeah.
Obviously, as you
No,
can tell.
it's crazy light.
Crazy, yeah. Crazy light.
I love that dial too.
Beautiful dial. I didn't know I would be, but I'm very much a fan of the blue dials. You know, that tone of color.
It's almost like a pale gray blue. It's very cool.
Exactly. Really cool thing about this one is for this watch, you know, the bridge was removed. So you can really see into the tourbillon, and you can really see into the soul of the watch.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm really a spiritual person in that sense. So I like to see the heartbeat of the watch. One of my colleagues, Kyle Kuzma, he collects a lot. I told you I was trying to get into Pateks.
I'm a Wizards guy, so.
Yeah, so I'm trying to get into Pateks.
Yeah, he's a Patek guy.
He's a Patek guy, and I sent him this watch, and he couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
He was like, please tell me you pay retail for that. I'm like, of course I am. But
this is like weirdly under the radar. Like the fact that it's like so light and titanium, it's like.
And that was the first thing I noticed about it. It literally feels like a piece of paper.
Yeah, like a toy almost.
Like a toy almost.
Yeah.
Like I was like, is this, when I got it, I was like, is this thing real? Is
this the final thing?
Is this the final?
Yeah.
So it's just a beautiful watch, man. I'm very excited to wear it.
That's so cool. So where do we go? Where do we go from here?
Purple dial.
Yeah.
Diamond frosted. This was the watch that really got me into understanding watches more and collecting them. I would say this. Obviously, it was a beautiful watch. Like I said, I love jewelry, so I was attracted to the frosted diamond and the purple dial and stuff like that. But the person I was buying it for told me that The Rock had it.
Okay.
He told me that The Rock had it, and I said, listen, I'm getting anything that The Rock is
wearing.
The
competitor in you is like, nah, I gotta have
exactly.
this watch,
I'm getting anything that The Rock is wearing. So obviously, it's a cool piece, limited edition.
Yeah.
One of 200 watches. The fun thing about this one is when I originally got into buying watches, you know, it was all about, hey, you get it and this is the value. And, you know, people look at it as an investment thing. And about a year into the watch, the person who sold it to me was trying to buy it back. And he was trying to buy it back from me at a reasonable amount. And first call I made was my old teammate AD.
Yeah.
I'm calling and I'm like, bro, should I do it? Like, it's crazy. Like, he'll buy it back for this or whatever. Yeah. And long story short, I ended up not doing it.
Yeah.
And from that point on,
that's some wise counsel from AD.
It was some wise counsel. It was some very wise counsel. And I would say a year later, the watch like doubled or tripled or whatever happened naturally or whatever it is. But this was the watch that made me say, I'll never sell any of my watches to anybody.
So you're in it to keep these. I love that.
In it to keep them. You know, obviously the value will go up of them. And it's great pieces to have, but nothing's for sale. So,
I love
you
that.
know, and this was the watch that made me realize, hey man, these are timepieces, literally. You know, these are things that you can pass down to your kids. Let's
stay on the AP theme.
AP theme.
Yeah.
Okay. So we went heavy. I'll go back to light.
Okay.
Royal Oak Offshore. So beginning of last summer, not this summer, but last summer, I was in a bit of a funk. We were coming off of we were coming off of a tough year as a team, individual year as well. And I was in Dallas at the time. That's where I live in the off season. And my wife sees me and she sees that, you know, I'm in a funk. And she's like, all right, we got to get you out of that.
Yeah.
Like, you got to get you out of that. So one thing that we always, even before we had kids, we love to travel. So always first on our bucket list, both of our bucket lists was to go to Italy.
Okay.
So I went to Italy and I brought one watch with me. And I didn't know that the trip was going to be that magical in a sense. But we did Lake Como. We went to Florence, Milan, and my favorite was Rome. And for me, Italy was super inspirational. Just seeing the history around.
Oh, it's beautiful, yeah.
You know, going to the Sistine Chapel, Colosseum,
Yeah.
thinking of all those places. And, you know, being there, seeing that, getting out of my bubble. You know, a lot of times we live in a world where, you know, we're very much in our own bubble. And getting out of our bubble and, you know, realizing, you know, the world is a big place and we're a very small piece in it. And for me, I wore that watch everywhere. I wore it on when I went running. I wear it when, you know, everywhere I visited.
Yeah.
All those different type of things. And immediately it got me out of my funk. And it kick-started me off into a great summer of training, which eventually ended up being a great year of basketball. Our team got back on track.
Randall gets it back. Randall puts up a three. Bang! Bang! Randall knocks down the...
But anytime I wear this, it takes me back to Italy. It takes me back to that time and that moment in my life.
It is kind of like your most like rugged-ish watch on the table. It feels like a good travel companion.
It is, yeah. It definitely has its scars, its bumps, its bruises. But hey, that's life, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's definitely one of my most worn watches. But like I said, this is one of those watches I come back to, you know, if I'm in a game and, you know, I'm having a little trouble getting motivated for a game or a little tired, beat up, worn down or whatever. It's one of those watches where I can be like, you know, your problems aren't really that big, bro. You're very blessed. You're very fortunate to do what you do. Go out there, just have fun. Moving on, I guess we can talk about my first and only Richard. I don't know when I'll ever get another one.
Yeah. How long have you had it?
I've had it probably 2 years.
Okay.
Two or 3 years. Yeah. My accountant was not very happy when I bought this at all. Was not very happy, but this is another one of those pieces, RM 1103.
That's an ask for forgiveness purchase from the accountant later on.
Yeah, she just had to deal with that one.
Just sort it out, move things around.
She's had to deal with that one. But this is another one of those pieces that are super light. I love the band. Obviously, the band is interchangeable. You can wear it with, I have a couple different bands that I wear it with. But I love it from that sense of it's just a cool watch. It reminds me of, as I'm looking at now, I'm a sports car guy. I love sports cars, so like it takes me, you know, to that mindset. So I would say when I wear this watch to games, I'm kind of going full speed.
Do you wear it while you drive too?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So that's a sick piece. And I used to wear it a lot. I don't wear it as much anymore. It's kind of one of those that
you have to see these to really appreciate them.
Yeah.
Like I think people like they see them from afar.
Yeah, exactly. You have to see it to appreciate it. You have to feel it. You have to touch it. You have to really connect with it. Even for me, a lot of times, you know, I'll have, you know, my watches and, you know, I'll have them in the safe. And like I said, I'll get used to wearing a watch, you know, every day. Like I said, I'll wear this every day, and then I'll go in my safe and I'll be like, holy shit, bro, like you have some beautiful pieces.
You forget what you have for a second.
You forget what you have for a little bit. Obviously, you know what you have.
Yeah,
but you forget.
You're looking at yourself from like an out of body experience.
Exactly.
That's cool.
And this is one of those pieces that every time I look at it, it just jumps at me.
I mean, look, you said that watches, some people look at them as investments. And they're still investments for yourself. Mm-hmm. And if you're going to put this much into any of them, you might as well love them as much as you love them.
Absolutely.
If you put that much into it and you don't feel that way, then there's something wrong.
Exactly. Yeah. 1000%. From there, I'll go back to AP. This is a light watch too, but it also has a little bit of weight to it. Royal Oak Perpetual Calendar. Beautiful watch, 41 millimeter. My favorite thing I love about it it counts for the leap year in the watch as well. But my favorite thing, my kids love it. And every time I wear the watch, it's when the moon is out. And I'll wear the watch and I'll be like, hey, moon is out.
That's
the
so
moon
great.
is out. You know, I'll joke with my kids about it from that aspect. But yeah, just the craftsmanship on this watch is one of the things I really like. A bucket list trip for me is to go to, you know, AP and go to Switzerland. You
got to go there. You got to go to Le Brassus. You got to make it happen.
Man, that's one of the things, and really just to see the craftsmanship of how these watches are made, the technicality, the time spent put into these watches. And like I said, I'm a big fan the blue dials. And yeah, I don't think it really gets better than.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Get better than this.
I want to go with what's on your wrist for a second because it's like jumping out at me a lot, and I can't.
Yeah, I saw you saw that when I first came in.
I did. I remember when this watch came out, and there was a lot of noise around it. This is such an AP watch in the best way possible to play on that dial pattern in this way.
Absolutely right.
It's just the coolest thing.
Right.
So how did this get on your radar? And tell me the special occasion that came about for you to pick this watch up.
Absolutely. How I got on my radar, shout out to my guy Yoni from Material Goods.
Friend of the brand, yeah.
Absolutely. He's a great guy who, keeps me up to date on stuff and really is a great friend of mine as well. How this watch came about, this was kind of my treat to myself for making an All-Star game.
So cool. That is amazing.
Actually making an All-Star game. And for me, it's a sporty watch. I can wear it, I can dress it up, I can dress it down. It has a yellow band, it has a blue band. I would say this is one of the watches like my kids like to play with because it's colorful.
Yeah.
In a sense, like you said, and the dial has, the different colors and stuff like that. So yeah, this was my treat to myself for All-Star.
Are you someone who like curates playlists and stuff and you like listening to music on the way to the game, or when you're practicing, do you have headphones on?
Yes, I'm definitely one of those. And I would say as I've gotten older, I used to just kind of be like one track minded with the music that I listen to. But as I've gotten older, I'm in different genres. I'll listen to classical music.
You like Jimmy Butler? You got like country music on while you're playing?
I can't get into the country. I can't do the country yet. I can do classical, I can do African music, I can do
classical music's kind of cool. You're shooting around with like some Mozart in your
other day
headphones.
I was lifting weights and I was listening to the Temptations. So I grew up listening to the Temptations with my mom and stuff like that. But yeah, this is definitely music. I would say is a big part of my lifestyle and what I do on a day-to-day basis. So to have this watch, I feel like is only right.
Yeah.
Lastly, for me, being a lefty, being a left-handed basketball player, we're different, but we're also special. Left-handed people, so we like to say.
Yeah.
But I felt for me it was only right, to have the Sprite in my collection.
Couple questions.
Yeah.
So for a lefty, traditionally the crown is facing down. Is it weird for you to have it?
It is.
If you're wearing it that way?
It is. I was actually having one of my teammates, Evan Fournier. He's he's big into watches. So we were having a debate. I'm like, which hand do I wear this on? Because usually you roll your watch on the opposite hand, and I'm like, all right, which do I wear? I'm a lefty, but do I wear this on my left hand? He's like, no.
Yeah, you still wear it on your right.
You still wear it on my right, but this is definitely one of those pieces where it's different. Obviously, like you said, with the crown.
Well, they moved the date too to the left side.
And the date, they moved the date to the left, the bezel, all of that different type of stuff. I love the bezel on this watch too.
No,
it's such a unique piece, for Rolex.
What would it mean to you, being in New York City, to bring a championship here? You played in big markets. I mean, this is not your first time in a big market, but New York's kind of a different beast, different kind of fan base. What does that mean to you?
For me, I've always said it means everything.
Yeah.
It's what I wake up every morning. It's my passion. It's what drives me. It's what motivates me every day. Being here has grown me as a human being more than anything. I've had to learn to not just love the highs, but love the lows as well. Love my flaws, love, things that I might hate about myself, love the things that, I view as great or whatever it is. But it's made me a more balanced individual more than anything. I've always said I never want to play for anybody else but the Lakers.
Yeah.
When I was in LA, I was like, I only want to be here. I grew up idolizing Kobe. I only want to be a Laker. I only want to be a Laker. And it's funny how life works out. And it brought me here. And it's like, I never want to be anywhere but here in New York. And I feel like it's my calling, it's my passion, to help bring a championship to this city. So, every day I wake up, that's what's on my mind.
It's like visualizing what a ring would look like on the table next to all these watches.
Exactly. Which watch would I wear?
Yeah.
With the ring, absolutely. Oh, I'm holding the trophy. Yeah, absolutely.
Is there one sort of like overarching philosophy behind these watches? Like if I look at them, there's the AP section, there's the Rolex section, there's the Richard Mille, but they all have sort of your stories through them. How do you think about what this collection is as a whole?
It's my life.
Yeah.
In a sense, that's how I like to view it. All of these watches are a part of the fabric of who I am as a person in some way, shape, or form. Whether it's a moment in my life, whether it's a feature, like I'm a left-handed person, or, so I have a lefty, whether it's growing up watching The Rock and, having the belts and WWE and jumping on the bed and doing all the moves and stuff, and now I'm wearing the same watch as him. I think it's a fabric of who I am as a person, as a human being. So, a lot of times when people collect art, and they say, hey, you see an art piece, the art piece should speak to you, in a sense. I think anytime I wear these watches, they speak to me, who I am as a person, and just remind me of not only just humble beginnings, but just, to stay grounded and true to who you are as a person.